Hello, I'm Andrew Clover, the Storyman, and I'm off to improvise a fairy tale with Ken Campbell, writer, comedian, and philosopher. Storyman. With me is...
Ken Campbell.
Ken Campbell, what a treat. I'm a mad fan of Ken's one-man shows. You've pioneered a technique that I like to call anthropomorphism. What that means, as far as I'm concerned, is saying lots of weird stuff that connects together at the end.
Yeah.
I consider you the master of that.
Oh, thank you.
And when you can get everything to connect at the end, sometimes I feel for a brief moment that you've got the meaning of life.
Yeah, I do that by writing the ends first. I think that's the attraction of stories,
Right.
really, is that for the duration of a well-told story,
Yeah.
it's like life with a purpose and a meaning which is clear. That's why we like mysteries, isn't it? Because the whole thing's a mystery, really. I mean, it's a kind of an ultimate mystery, really, is why is there something? It seems to me to be likely, well, more likely that there's nothing, so that we're already in an unlikeliness. When I interviewed Stephen Hawking, he said this. He said something went wrong with the nothing. That's what they're doing. There's this enormous experiment going on at a place, they call it CERN. I mean, it's an enormous experiment that takes place on the border of Switzerland and France. And it's a 27-kilometre tube of nothing. There's more nothing at CERN than anywhere else in the known universe. And then they whiz some atomic particles in opposite directions around this tube. I mean, some atomic particles are very small gentlemen indeed, right? They zang around at speed approaching that of light. When it comes a time, they go and they clang into each other. New matter is formed there in the nothing. I had to interview these guys one time, see? And I said, isn't there a chance here that, you're going to set off a whole new universe? We're going to be pursued from the inside by the formation of a whole new universe here at CERN, sort of, mushrooming out in size, expanding behind us and everything like that. And the guy said he thought it was unlikely. He didn't say I got it wrong, that ridiculous young man. He thought it was unlikely.
So you and I, sitting here in this room, which I'd just like to explain to Mary Hampton, our listener, is an empty room of a house that you're intending to sell, so that you can move to Epping Forest, the place where you actually began your life.
I didn't begin it. I began it in Ilford, but Epping Forest was the treat place.
Ah, so you're going back to where there were treats.
Yes.
So you're going back to
Going back to my ancestral picnic area. My retreat.
Well, I'd like to begin a story with you.
Okay.
And I'd like it to be in Epping Forest.
Okay.
How old were you at that time when Epping Forest was the treat?
8.
All right, so you're 8 years old.
Yeah.
What clothes are you wearing?
Khaki shorts. Socks and sandals. Kind of check shirt.
What are you holding under your left arm?
A rubber ring.
A rubber ring.
Yes.
Because you do have a purpose, and it's to do what?
Swim.
You want to swim. Where are you going to swim?
Well, it's a mucky lake.
Smelly?
It's not smelly until you tread into it. And there's a really disturbing insect. A water insect, some kind of water bug, bigger than a mouse. I wonder whether to kill it, actually.
What do you mean?
It does occur to me that we'd be better off without it.
Let me tell you something you've previously suspected and tried to avoid, that this bug has an importance to you and to your adventure.
Yeah?
And in fact, you hold it up to your left ear.
Yes.
What sound can you hear?
It's good thing.
And at first it just sounds like absolute rubbish. But your ears, as you begin to tune in to the speech of a bug, you actually hear that it's saying actual words.
Yes.
What does it say?
Auntie Barbara, Auntie Barbara, Auntie Barbara.
Auntie Barbara. Do you know who Auntie Barbara is?
Yeah, I've got an Auntie Barbara, yeah.
And you continue your way
Yes.
into this gungy, smelly water.
Yeah.
And at first there's that panic that you feel when you're submerged in water, and then half a second afterwards, relief.
Yeah.
And you are under the water.
You are.
And if you look to to your right, you actually see something. What is it?
Well, I can see a spiral
There's
in the water.
A spiral of water which
Yes,
whizzes
ahead.
round and round and round.
Yes.
And in fact, you find yourself drawn towards it.
Oh, yeah.
And you reach the spiral of water.
And get in it.
And you get in it. Yeah.
And they go round and round and round and round. And then I kind of gone down the plug hole.
You've gone down.
Yeah, the Epping Forest Pond plug hole.
You've gone down a plug hole.
Yeah.
I believe what's actually happened is you have slipped into another world. Not only that, but you've gone down the plug hole of it.
It's an earthy tunnel.
And at the end of the tunnel, what can you see?
Seaside.
Seaside.
Yeah.
But there's something rather unusual about this seaside scene. What is it?
Well, it's not unusual. It's unexpected because
Yeah.
there's my mum and dad there. They're both sitting in deck chairs.
What are they doing?
My father's collecting smooth pebbles and he's writing funny things on them and then
He's writing.
throwing them away again.
He's writing on the pebbles.
Yes.
And you sneak over towards him.
Yes.
And you watch him as he writes on one of the pebbles.
Yes.
What does he write?
I didn't throw this in here.
And he writes that and then he throws it.
Yes.
So he's in fact a liar, your father. He's writing things on pebbles that he's then patently disproving.
Yes.
And he takes another pebble and he
Yeah.
writes on that. What does he write?
Pim.
Pim.
P-Y-M. Pim.
What the hell is your father doing?
I don't know.
What is your mother doing?
She's got her eyes shut in the sun.
She's seeing something with her eyes shut. She's shut her eyes because she knows inside her mind there's something better, something in her mind.
Good Lord, I hadn't thought of that.
There is something going on and something that you as a child would have been unable to see. But you, returning to this scene many years later, are actually now able to do an extraordinary thing, which is to briefly become your mother. You're inside your mother's mind and you see what she is seeing and feel what she's thinking about. And it's quite surprising.
There seems to be a lot of fish.
Fish.
Yeah, and chickens.
She's thinking about fish.
Fish and chickens.
Right. And you stop being your mother, you open your eyes again and you're back here. Because you look at your parents as an 8-year-old does and you feel, I don't understand you. I don't know what you want. You're up to your own thing and I must carry on with mine. And you actually leave them behind you and you start to run across the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah? And suddenly, coming towards you is something quite frightening. What is it?
A man on stilts.
How tall are the stilts?
I don't know, 10 feet or something.
So what's bad about that man? Why did he frighten you?
He's bearded.
He's bearded.
Yes. Yeah.
What does he want to do?
Well, I don't know, but bearded people and mustachioed people are baddies.
Yeah. In fact, he somehow manages to crane forward and he lifts you up.
Yeah, he puts me on his shoulders.
So briefly you go past his beard.
Yes.
Smells of what?
Beer.
And he puts you on his shoulders.
Yes. Yeah, far too high up.
And he's actually taking you back to his strange place, to his home.
It's a house on stilts.
Yes.
He can take his stilts off and go in and then he's an ordinary person in an ordinary house, except it's always on stilts.
Yes. It's ordinary. Apart from you now see there is something that he's obsessed by. There is lots of these things around the walls.
Cockroaches.
Yes, cockroaches. Does he like cockroaches?
Well, he's got a lot of them. Yeah. They're like the land version, really, of the thing in the water. Certainly a cousin.
So you don't know if this is the right thing to do, but you're doing it. You take that bug out of your pocket.
Oh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
And you put the bug down amongst all those cockroaches.
Yes.
It stands in the middle like Jackie Chan facing a whole lot of villains.
Yeah.
Is it on about Auntie Barbara still?
I can't hear anything.
They can't hear it, but the cockroaches can hear it. That we know, because they are responding.
That's it.
How?
Yeah. Well, they're attentive.
They're attentive.
It's kind of like the Sermon on the Mount, perhaps, or something.
You have actually brought the Redeemer for these cockroaches.
I think so, yeah.
And what does he do next?
I don't know.
But the cockroaches know exactly what they have to do. They also want to do what people always want to do to redeemers, which is kill the buggers, put them on a cross.
Do they?
Yep, they do.
Oh.
A prophet is not welcomed in his
Yeah.
own town or indeed in his own beach hut.
Yes.
That is about to be demonstrated, because what actually happens is the cockroaches now run as one, and they grab hold of the bug, and they put him on their cockroach shoulders over to the side of the beach hut, and they crucify him. They stick him on something.
What, on a tent? And his little watery legs.
And nailed up on the wall.
Yeah.
He's now desperate to impart to the cockroaches his final messages. What does he say?
Pim.
Pim.
Yes.
And then life ebbs away from him.
Yes.
And you turn around.
Yeah.
What do you see?
I see the man.
Yes.
And he says, Pim, to me, like Pim, meaningfully. You know, like, not actually winking, but in that winky, no-y way.
Yeah.
Pim.
Yeah.
Like, do you get it?
Yeah.
Pim.
Yeah.
And so I go, oh, Pim.
Yeah.
Like that.
And suddenly you know what Pim means.
No, I don't.
You
see.
do.
No, I just pretend I do to him. Anyway, he's so pleased that I've now got it that he lets me go and points out, you know, that we haven't really come all that far, and there's my mum and dad over there. And I've asked my dad about writing Pim on a pebble. He said, I don't know what you're talking about.
And you now realise that P, Y, M,
Yeah.
that's the beginning letters of 3 words, which is actually an extremely important message. What does P, Y, M stand for? You know exactly, and evade it no further.
Praise your manhood.
Yes, exactly. Your father was writing you a message which was praise your manhood. And you're there in front of him as he sits on the deck chairs, and you know exactly what you have to do.
What? Praise my manhood?
Yes. And how are you going to praise your manhood? Evade it no farther, Campbell. For God's sake.
What?
You know what you have to do.
I stand in front of my father now. I mean, he's looking at me. I undo the buttons of my shorts.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I pee on him.
You pee on him.
Yes.
And you piss on him.
Yes.
On his legs? Whereabouts?
On his legs.
On his legs. And as you piss on your father's legs,
Yes.
what effect does that have?
Well, curiously, everyone seems pleased.
You weed on your father, he gets up jubilant, and you realise that you don't understand it, Ken, but you have achieved your purpose.
Yes.
And suddenly, you zoom back out of that scene. You zoom back, and you find yourself coming back along that tunnel, up through the plug hole, back through the whirlpool, and back. You find yourself once again at the shore of that pond. And how do you feel? Happy. Thank you, Ken Campbell. We really got to the bottom of it. We've possibly reached the end of our story, man. And so we can say goodbye to our listeners, Mary Hampton, who listened to this story in her kitchen. Would you like to give a message to Mary?
Yes, hello there, Mary. It's really so terrific of you to listen to these things. It's really the most peculiar business, you know, because there you are, as instructed, you're thinking of something, and then he changes it. But you find that, yeah, he's right, and there you are there.
Well, thank you, Ken Campbell. And good night to Mary, and good night to everybody.
This is Mary's, isn't it?